Yeah, a wonderful good day to everybody who's joining us today. We are seeing today the 11th session of this run, which is outright awesome. I mean, we're getting somewhere over the course of the time. And as the title of the video might already imply, my plan is to go today into ore enrichment. So last time I have set up, I did some experimentation with the ore mining, and well, I have some plans in my mind with the future about that. But all in all, we are going to need to reschedule, so to say. I have really noticed that I want to centralize the entire thing with the processing of core fragments. Therefore, this entire thing here is just not viable as it is right now. We are going to reschedule, like I said. The simple solution will be I'll be transporting the core fragments somewhere here, and there we are going to process them. The idea of mine is to connect that up right away to some ore enrichment, because you know, why not kill two birds with one stone? Ore enrichment is something we are going to need one way or another, but it'll also mean that we'll have to restructure a lot of our backbone. Looking forward to that. So first things first, I want to clear out the area where we're working. So it's just very important to go for. And then let's check out what kind of new machines can we actually imply right now. Because we really have no options by now. And I can probably install a few of these new options by fixing them up here in the mall. So first off, yeah, let's craft ourselves some substations. Yes, yes, please, exclamation mark. Substations are such a massive step forward. We are going to have so much less trouble with the energy distribution when we go on like that. Okay, well, we are going to have to wait until this is researched, but it's a rather quick one. So what I came for were the cliff explosives, as a matter of fact. My steel production is really bothering me as well. This is something I really don't like to see as it is right now. We're just going to have one stack of magazines on stockpile for now. This is one of the reasons why I want to go into ore enrichment, because right now I feel like we are not really getting the job done well enough. So we have to do some tidying up today, and I'm looking forward to that. These were the things that I always procrastinated in the past runs of mine, and that was pretty much a recipe for disaster in the long run. So we are going to fix that. So this area down here right now is also my distribution center, so to say. That work in the long run like that. First off, we're not going to stay in that region here forever. And the second thing is, this is all way too small for this. I knew that when I set it up, therefore it's never been a problem for me. But the time is nigh to restructure a couple of things. So this entire railroad track here, these two loops, are going to be redundant quite soon. I mean, as soon as these deposits here are depleted, I don't think that there is much reason for them to stay here, you know. And therefore, well, let's see where this will lead us. I need a spot for this up here too. We need to get rid of all the cliffs down here and level out the area, get rid of the rocks. Well, there's a lot of stuff that we need to do here before we can build. But I want to clear out the entire ballpark here. So, electric energy distribution, so substations, that's something we're going to prep up. Then, well, advanced radar, we can't do this without rare metals, so we don't have these for now. Warehouse. So there's even something larger, or what? A reinforced 6-on-6 item container with a storage size of 512. Is that even larger than the stuff I got right now? Well, not really. I don't know if 6-on-6 is actually a smaller format. That could be the case, but we'll just research it so it's off the table, but it doesn't look like a must-have technology. Didn't buy it. So there's a handful of biters down here. Going to get rid of them too. But first, let me clear out the rocky wastes here. So there we go. I'm so happy that I have by now the tools to clear out these areas. That's wow. We were struggling so massively in the past with that. So, I sadly don't know how to pronounce your name, good sir. But, you're welcome. I really, really love to hear that I was able to help you with a basic cultivation simulator. So, enjoy. Alright. Sadly, I can't read the language. We got almost everything done here. It's just stripping away a couple of rocks, and then I'm going to plan out where we're going to do the whole ore fragment processing and where we are going to do the ore enrichment. But I have already kind of a plan, but I have the map in front of me to talk about it. So, as a small side note for this video, my channel can use all the help it can get. I have links for donation stuff in the description box, and I'd be super, super grateful if you could check them out. I really hate to bother you guys, but you know, my continent's free, and therefore income is extremely important, and I'd appreciate any form of it. With that out of the way, I won't hassle you for it. So we're going to get rid of all the trees here, and I think I have pretty much cleared out the area almost completely. The only thing that I want to pick up now are the stones. I love it that I by now have kind of a system how things are working out. So there we go. Picking up some stuff there. We are really far away now. And, I think I just picked up a meteorite. Whenever you pick up a meteorite, really go careful with that. And yeah, we automatically destroy stuff here with the cliff explosives. But it ain't as efficient as when we are doing it ourselves, you know? The cliff explosive usage here is just extremely wasteful, and I'd only recommend that for people that have a extraordinary supply of that stuff. Which I don't. You saw my steel supply, it's ridiculous. That's also a reason why I want to go for Enrichment next, because I really, really want that. And once I'm done with all that stuff, the next thing is meteorite defense, and then we are going to start talking about the umbrella. A lot of stuff on that. And then maybe we are going to go to space. Can't promise them. Don't you need those trees? No, RDS, I don't need them. Wood can be produced in this mod package, as a matter of fact, in greenhouses, so if I ever need wood, I'm producing that by myself. Since I'm also playing with peaceful biters, I'm not needing the trees as a pollution remover either, because, you know, trees also soak up pollution. It's another nifty use for them, but, you know, nope and nope. We're going to clear out all the trees so I have this area ready for building purposes when I start on out here. So, there we go. We're almost done now. clearing out areas is a necessary, but luckily with the Nanobot mod, the termites just deleting trees around me are really, really helpful to see. Helps out clearing out stuff a lot faster. Go. Just marking all those rocks for later pickup, and then I think we are good to go. Alright. There we go. So now, core miner sits here. My plan is to do the ore enrichment down here, and I'd say the whole ore crushing, or ore fragment crushing, I'll make that happen on the left of that side, simply because I want to have a lot of room here left if I ever have the urge to expand into megalomaniac dimensions with my stuff. That also means that we are going to need to do a lot of new things. So, ore enrichment. Well, let's do this. I'm so happy that we actually can right now. So, we are going to make enriched copper, enriched iron, enriched everything. So, enriched iron. Yeah, this is the first recipe that we're going to need. We are going to need a total of 15 enriched iron for the production of 15 iron plates. So, we need a little bit of sulfuric acid, but that's really the least of our worries. So, one machine is able to produce 50 sulfuric acid, if I remember correctly. So we'll have to have a sulfur backbone, and we'll have to create a sulfuric acid backbone. I'm going to create that one first because, you know, sulfuric acid is a product that we are going to need on a lot of occasions in the near future. So we are going to produce ourselves a value of 250 per second. This ain't really much. It's a nice start for us to begin with. 25 sulfur. Holy crap. It's actually a lot more than I thought. Okay, so as you see here, these things are a little bit more. So, there we go. So that's going to be actually a pretty large thing. And that's a tantrum next door, so forgive me for not being able to cancel that one out. So we have a production of 2,500 oil per second. As far as I know, we aren't even able to transport that via one pipe. One pipe has roughly a capacity of 1,250. So we'd be actually needing to distribute that differently if we'd ever want to run on full pressure here. So I have to keep that in mind. Bioprocessing is another technology which is going to be really important for us because this is going to be the way for us to automate biometa production, which we right now only get by killing critters. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do next. The thing here is, I need the setup of oil bursts. Let's see. I have all the oil stuff running on over here. So if we do all our ore refining over here, or crushing over there, where do I do my oil refining? Not a good question. So for oil refining, we'll actually need some space as well, you know. Oh man. This is all so nasty, man. We'll clear out the we'll figure something out. We'll also have to restructure our entire smelter column here. everything here will be ripped out and rebuilt there, so really looking forward to what's going on here next. Worker robot speed. Well, we ain't got worker robots yet, but... Alright. Pretty difficult to structurize all of that right now and get it on one good tab. Because, as a matter of fact, we have right now so many different things on our at the same time. It's really a little bit annoying to deal with that. So, I also don't have much inventory space right now. But whatever, that's not really a big issue. So let's just keep researching. And what range is a great thing to research. Always. And now then. Oh yeah, I know one thing. Now I'm going back on track. So we're going to need a bajillion of oil refineries and chemical factories. That's what definitely will be extremely useful here. And we actually don't have. So, let's see what we can remove out of the inventory. I really will. I know that I can get rid of the core fragments down there, but beyond that, I'm sure I have stuff I don't really. It's there. Yeah, it's raw materials. I really want to have. So we definitely don't have enough piping in the holes. We don't need those small ones. Anytime too soon again. Explosives. I want to find. Okay. So. That should work out. Alrighty. Now, let's get rid of the core fragment. I have to think about some relocation of these materials as well, but one thing. We might even use that railroad that's here one day soon, but not now. So, next things, we are going to get that oil production running. The real bummer here is that we are going to need a total of 5 iron plates to get that production running. That's what's bothering me here right now most, because we are going to need a lot extra there. So, I could go for the advanced oil refining technology too, but I'm too lazy. It'll work with us as well. Although, let's see how much lower the difficulty could be if we go for advanced cracking. So, advanced oil processing there. So we be needing 63 of these, so yeah. But that's, of course, not really a... I'm not really convinced that I want to do this to myself. You are able to just get these things in motion, but I really think that this is the easier way to get the job done. Or at least the way easier to track off. The other methods are look really complicated. Alright, so let's get rid of these poor fools next. And war! Instant war. We came for your biometal. But there are no great enemies nearby. So there's one extremely rich iron ore deposit here. Why is this stuff even here? And we just cleared out the area where I the whole oil processing stuff. But I had the idea that we could produce the sulfuric acid somewhere else. We're just going to produce the petrol gas here and then pipe it over to somewhere else where we don't need to move iron plates 3,000 miles over the planet, because that's right now what's been bothering me the most about producing this stuff. Question where the heck the iron plates for that should come from. Okay. But yeah, that's, I think, the best solution that I could. Alrighty, so. This is going to be fun. I love setting up large oil plants. They always look groovy at the end. Oopsie. Just dropping some rock here. And I mean, first off, that rock ends up in my pants, and this is also quite helpful to have this this kind of runway. Still not sure what to do with this iron patch. Part of me wants to extract it. Oopsie. Because, you know, it's valuable iron. Other part of me just wants to slap the factory on top of it and forget about it. Dang. Luckily, I don't need to decide about that right now. Alright. Getting rid of a couple of things here in my spare change. Loose rocks. Okay, so one more run in the middle there. So we'll have some accessibility. And my inventory is also a little bit freer. Okay. We are going to set up here 23 of these buggers, right? No, 21. I find it quite amusing how much time every setup or every session I invest into outright just planning stuff. Not building anything, just planning. The actual building goes quite fast already, always. Okay, so we got that. We need that now 21 times, so better set that up in a way that we can copy that. So we'll have this distribution, we'll have that, it's necessary, and okay, this is how they're going to look like. 20 more times. Alright, 21. So let's see. This is a block of 5. That's 10. 15. 20. And 21. Done. That's as easy as it can get. So we'll of course need a water pump for that, and I'll just do myself a favor and build an exclusive one for this ops. It's always a good plan to have a own water source for your oil refining, because you know oil is just so much hungry. You'll need oil. You'll need water in many production steps there, and quite amused to see that I'm actually already running into trouble here with the pipes in my inventory. As a matter of fact, I picked some up extra. That's just alrighty. But this should be actually enough to power up the oil, but I don't think it's enough to transport the natural gas back to where I want to transform it into sulfuric acid. Dear. Gonna run back home again. The water. Yeah. Ah, you know what? We're just going to make the run immediately. Doesn't help. Doesn't get. It doesn't get less. And the best thing there is we're as close as we can to. Really can't wait to build myself some exoskeleton blocks as well. But one thing at a time. I really didn't expect that 150 pipe to ground thingies would be beaten that fast. There I am. All the lesson. Okay then. So we got the petrol there. We'll be needing to process that into sulfur. This is something that I can do on site with ease, no problem. But what's more of a problem is then to transform that stuff. So we could produce the sulfur down here, but we did not really benefit. So I actually would prefer to produce the stuff here. So let's actually make the sulfur here and the sulfuric acid in a very much in the vicinity, because at the end of the day, smelting will all happen somewhere in this block. So it'll be easy to backfeed this entire thing with some iron plates. Okay, let's go. And we're going to settle on over to steel furnaces today. That's also something that I really can't wait for. Steel furnaces make everything more compact. That's one thing that I'm mostly looking forward to. We're not going to need that much loot anymore. I really like it when smelting can be compactified. Okay, so we are going to go here and help ourselves to a little bit of a connector here. Okay, that's what we needed. So we got power running over there. Cool. Still haven't built the substations yet. To do that still. Ooh, that's bad. I don't know. Because we can't make that with less waste. No, as a matter of fact, I would have needed to let them run down here. Sorry for the perfectionism, but this, you know, I did the effort to be less wasteful. Now I'm exactly as wasteful that modders. So, yeah. That's better. Here, now I sometimes can activate 2 of these guys with 1 pole. That's what I want to achieve. Bye.
Ist auch Vanillestange mit Erdbeeren?
There we go. So what have we got now? The petrol
Aber
gas?
später nehme ich an.
Yeah. Got petrol gas that we wanted, and we're going to pipe that on over here. And now we'll have to fix up 13 of these bad boys. So let's see. I want to be as low as possible with these inside. So let's go on here. Then we'll copy this little part here. And that it'll fit here as well. Why do things doubly if you can do them only once? And then we are going to do the output. So, how's that again inserter-wise, if I remember correctly? Good. So, let's just copy that 13 times. Does that work? To put them down that close? As a matter of fact, it seems like the answer is yes. Awesome. So that's 5. That's 10. And that's 13. Like I said, planning is always more work than anything else. So we have 13 machines, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of them will drop near. And the rest will just do their drop pattern regularly. And the wind intake. Is that possible, or is that going to kill everything? So there's that. It looks like they all got their input. Then that, so we have a bit more extra connection area there. Just connect the water over. Nice. Right. Some large portal for that. And some medium-sized ones. Side. Okay. Sulfur en masse. Great. First things done. Now we're going to need even more of that. And as you see here, we need a total amount of almost 1,100 water. That's almost the entire water pump there. Alright, so let's just move on over here, and I think... No, I want to set these up on a different column, so I can amp up the sulfur production if I really want to. And we are going to make the the acid production happen here. The idea behind that is a quite simple one. If I really feel like I need more of that stuff in the passing time, I can always acquire. And that's pretty important and powerful. So we got that, and now, if I remember correctly, these guys needed stupid amounts of inserters, so more than one inserter, as a matter of fact. Durr. I hate that. The options we got are quite simple, and I know what I'm going to do. I am going to let that move on over with a load up inside there, because that's just easier than torturing myself with that. I don't know. I use loaders. I think I need more distance between those. So I think it'll be smarter if we do the fluid, but if I do the fluid on the sideway, that's also a solution. As you see here, this is a bit of a more complicated thing there. So I know how it's just like that, and we are going to go, as a matter of fact, for a solution like this. Go. That's one. And got there. These. And then we need that only times 5. Right. So we'll be placing down this, then we'll just have the water supply running like that. That's, for me, always the easiest way to solve this issue. Because this way I really only need one tile for the water supply, not 2 tiles. Now we can just set them like that. And now we have a strong production of sulfuric acid. 250 sulfuric acid are pretty powerful. Oh god, I forgot one thing though. We are going to need iron plates, of course, as well. I don't know what it is, why I keep forgetting the iron plates whenever I produce sulfuric acid. It's like a hole in my brain.
You have a hole in your brain? Doesn't sound good.
Lots of them. We are going to pick on up our iron plates from here, which is a bit of a bad move for me. I definitely don't want it to be like that forever, but for now it's the only way that I see working for us. So. Hopefully I'll be able to iron out that mess one day. So. Because what's bothering me here is we are really just using so much else. Oh, whoopsie. But it is as it is. Things are important. So can we do that with a basic inserter? Yes, we can. Alrighty. So take a moment until the iron plate has arrived. But as you see here, this is actually quite a long connector. I don't like that too much, but the cool thing about all of this, now we have all the fundamental basics up and running for the ore enrichment itself. So good stuff is happening now, folks. Right? Oh crap! I didn't need those. Just connecting from the big pole there.
Nee, ich sagte zu Jonathan, dass ich Fingernägel schneiden muss, weil ich so gar nicht Gitarre spielen kann. Aber ich glaube, die Schere ist gar nicht hier. Nee, ich hab ein bisschen Bart.
So, we are waiting now for the iron plates to roll on in. It's there. Boom. There we go. So that's what we've been waiting for. I'll be using this stuff not only for the for my for the ore enrichment. I'll be also using that for the rest of the factory and the wall. And the real nice thing about that is we can expand it. Just add in more sulfur, add in more factories. Now we can do a lot more of it. Good. So we got the acidic backbone of our production there. So let's get on back to this one. I mean, this has been already like all it took. So we will now get on over there. So 5 machines will process the iron ore into enriched iron ore. Nice. If I'll do the smelting out of these, how many regular furnaces will I need? 48. If I remember correctly, right now we are not running 48 furnaces. We are just running 24, aren't we? Check. That's even less than 24. Ah, damn. So, how many are these? That's nearly 16. So, the entire setup here is just outright too small. So, well, what are we going to make? First of all, there's one really, really important thing. We'll have to do a really, really cool thing. We'll have to all the connectors here. This has now to run properly. So all of our productions will now stop for a while. Which sounds a little bit dramatic at first, but, you know, we'll have to start somehow and somewhere. And, you know, the thing here is, we want that iron ore now to be transported this way. Have it built. So we are going to roll that stuff down there, and then we're going to roll it back up there. Or are we? So this is really now a little bit of a... let's pick up the... procrastinate our thinking process by destroying some cliffs. Show those cliffs who's boss. Always good for me to unwind myself. But seriously, they are in harmony. We're going to need that room later as well, so. The thing here is we'll have to restructurize pretty much everything there. Our entire metal production is now going to be set up anew. It's also a reason why I didn't want to set up a real large thing there, because I knew that this problem would be so what was I up again? Ah, yeah, should pick up some different. And let's see, do I have all the other machines in my inventory? sufficient amount. So we are going to need 5 chemical plants. How many chemical plants? Plenty. I'll also need pipes, so let's do that. Oh yeah, and let's pick up some extra red belt, because I have the slight feeling as if I could use that as well. But we'll be running out of material here in the mall rather quickly, because, you know, I just turned off the iron ore supply. It's not gonna take that much longer. But I really want to stop that. We are wasting our iron ore like that. They ran dry already. It's fine. So, let's think a moment about where and how are we going. So, we have the raw material production here. I would say to keep things as easy as possible, we're just starting to produce that stuff over here. And then we're going to work ourselves downstairs, so to say. So all that stuff doesn't even have to happen. I like the idea of that, because the sulfuric acid that we have to move is a lot easier to move than the ore. Therefore, so here we go. This recipe has been changed. This was different way back when I did that last time. Or oh no, it's not. We still produce wastewater. Okay. So you can refine that wastewater if you want to, but I don't want to. And we are going to need a new offshore farm. Lots of water necessary for these things, but I already saw that one. So. We're going to step up and carry it over there. Process, and we'll also have to let the sulfuric acid run along somewhere. I'd say let's just team them up, huh? So we'll have to have this there. Always like it when matching resources right next to each other. Makes things easier to organize, to understand, and I find that always a good thing. Okay, so now then, the usual things apply, and so let's see, how do we do that inserter-wise? Because, you know, we still have that inserter issue. So, I mean, there will be... well, we're going to output the wastewater, like, it's the easier way. Then we'll just... yeah, let's do this. And we'll put that on there. So, we'll have a red inserter. Please tell me the red inserter is good. No, it ain't. Oh, that's... so... I thing here is these connectors will all look like that. So on this side, there won't be really room for. So we have to do this like that. All right. So I don't see any other option for this issue here, except for this. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. See how close we can bring the pipes there, and then we'll have a typical input-output situation with one dude for a bad and one dude for a bad. That's as good as it gets, if you'd ask me. So we're going to see how far will these go. We'll be open that. So we can go here. And we can go here. Then we can connect it to either direction, can't we? Alright, good. So, well, that's how we roll, eh? Actually, it's more like a situation like that. Alright. Perfect as I can do. I mean, the good part about that is we can cluster them close together like that. We won't hurt anybody. So let's make one of them drop near. Well, no, we actually don't need to, because this is a red belt, so it can't all be dropped onto one end. No problem whatsoever. So we'll have to connect it like that. Then wire it up with the main branch. No. Flush the pipe. That was wrong. So we'll have to connect that with the water, of course. So this is water, and the acid can. So we'll have to do that now for pretty much all of the materials that we got, and this will also require us to reorganize and redesign my smelting stuff. Alright, wonderful. So we have now enriched ore. This enriched ore will go back into the warehouse here. Now the next step will be to replace all this. So here goes. So I'll be eventually rewiring the unloading station there as well, because it's not really necessary anymore to wire the iron ore into this warehouse. We could simply plug in a warehouse somewhere else, do one thing after another. I don't want to confuse myself more than pretty. Alright, so we are going to need now these steel furnaces, and I just disconnected the power, didn't I? Okay, so next step, pick up the steel furnaces and design a little smelter column that's working out. Twice. Once for the lab and once here. So, where were the furnaces? Ah. So that'll get us somewhere. Do I still have blue ammo? Yeah, let's just do this first. So we are going to do this via steel furnaces. So we are needing 24 of these critters, and they are picking up this there. Oh, that fuel to run somewhere else. Oh, space. So the thing here is, I don't see the real necessity to have that running on over here. Let's make that run over here first. That makes everything a little bit more tidy, and I think this will be definitely enough room for me to set up the 24 furnaces we are needing. So I'm going to set them up on this angle. So 12 of these in one direction. We are going to need inserter wise, I bet just basics actually. So yeah, got to go on like that, huh? So that's 5. That's 10. And that's 12. Then we'll have to do this, of course, mirrored on the other side. We'll have one belt for ore and one belt for fuel. And then here, one insert there, one there, and just done. I really like it when stuff like that is that easily multiplicable. So let's pick up some inserters, and that's the start. I'll be setting up a second refining center in a sec, because I realized that we obviously need twice the amount of refined ore, because we have 2 areas to supply. One for the wall, and for another the lab, and therefore we need all the stuff we can get. So let's pick up that. Oh man, still no substation automatic production. Gotta admit that's going to be very soon done. It took me so much longer on my previous save files, I don't want to. So let's just wire it up real quick. With a little splitter, yeah, okay. First off, these guys all there. Even there, and then we'll just transport our stuff over there. So, and let's just copy that all together. Slap it on here a second time. Pray to RNGesus that we got all the necessary supplies for that. Because, you know, that's what we need for our production there. And now these fellas are going to go on drop here. And now let's check on out how is this all. So we are inserting 30 units of iron ore per second. Perfect. And we are merely consuming 10 units of sulfuric acid so far. We have 240 more to work with. But what's also a thing is we have now dirty water, and that's something we have to take care of. So let's copy that. Because if we don't handle the dirty water, we won't have a steady production. Dirty water, you can either refine it or just destroy it, like I'll do here. I'll just put it on flare stacks, honestly, because I'm a lazy man. So, flare stack, new flare stack. And these things are very simply said, just burning that stuff. And each flare stack handles 50 units of fluid per sec. So since we have 83 per sec, we need that. So my plan is a simple one. We are going to pipe that right on back into the warehouse where it came from. And we'll just repurpose this place, you know. Now we'll have to rewire that as well. And now we have one big issue though. That's the fact that we have the wrong materials there. So we are still researching, or are we stuck? No, we are still checking. It's just a very long check. Okay, good. So we are now trying to distribute enriched ore, but tell me what, we're going to skip on that problem for now and just slam that stuff into our production again, because we happen to need it. Really happen to need it. So there we go. So much faster, guys. So much faster. Now we'll just wire that back up here, and no! Stop it before it runs through the factory. This is absolutely stupid when that happens. Okay. You know, this was never supposed to be a belt where these materials mix, and it just happened because I did place the underground belt there. This can clog up entire production chains. If this ever runs rampant, it's a big issue. Really. Okay. So, my plans are quite simple. We are going to place down one warehouse here in between. Just going to handle iron ore now. And there. There it is. Input it out. And in no time, we'll be able to use the other warehouse for enriched ore. Just gotta make sure that no new ore is rolling on it there. That we're gonna be fine. So, to make sure that this won't be an issue, we're just going to let that just roll down here. an except hole which is coming from the train as well, and we're almost. So that's that. We are going to need a refurbished version, of course, as well for the lab. So let's head on over to the quick, but first let me get rid of that iron ore. We really won't need that for the time being. Okay, so I will pick up all the iron ore I find here, though, because we won't be needing it anytime too soon anymore. So we have a surprisingly low demand on iron here. So let's rip it out entirely. Alright. So our lab didn't even need the steel it produced so far. Wow. That comes in as a big surprise to me. So we are now out of inventory space, as usual. So yeah, where we're going to, it's not that nice. We're just picking things up that we're definitely going to need now. And stuff that I'll definitely be able to get rid of. So there we go. The rest I'll be just picking up later. Okay, so we'll be actually able to just pick up the old version there and modernize it. Simply said. No, I meant that we're able to just copy that. So stupid sometimes. Alright, so here we go. Copied that, and we're going to be able to just slap that down here. It's a little bit more bulky than the old solution, but it's that doesn't really matter. So we're going to go down. And so we're entirely out of brick belts. Okay. It's mostly because we have them here. Hidden inside the little stash. So here we go. So spike the fuel. Direction, nevertheless, but whatever. It's not that important. There we go. And then we're just going to do this. Right? And then just fuse these guys together. Read a bit power outage from some more. Let's go. So, I haven't played Factorio, but I'm still concerned. Yeah, Pixel Manga. I can only say that Factorio is one of the games that really took a while for me to get into, but oh my god, it's one of my absolute favorite games ever since. Because, you know, I haven't played a better puzzle game in a while. It's like a puzzle where you get to decide how to build the solution. And that's an outright amazing feeling for puzzle games, because, you know, it's like a puzzle that has many possible solutions. That's really cool. So, we got all that. Now, let's just research robotics while we're at it. Yeah. getting here done. And now let's make sure that we're actually getting on in some enriched ore in there. And now we are already 25% more, or no, 25% less wasteful. So how should I put it? Because all the stuff we are producing right now is using 25% less iron ore. That's kind of a big thing. All right, so here goes the enriched ore for the lab. So upgrade completed. Wonderful. We'll try out. When I saw it, I thought it'd be overwhelming. Yeah, I actually started out a tutorial series for that game as well. It ain't finished yet, but it is finished enough to give you enough knowledge to enjoy the game, definitely. And the overwhelming part of the game, yeah, I totally get that, but it's merely a thing at the beginning. It really stops at some point. So we also happen to need enriched ore for our steel production. We also have to restructure our steel production. So, well, let's see. I was very, very unhappy with my steel production in the first place, so let's make that happen a little bit better this time. We are going to make this like here. So we'll need 15 enriched iron ore as well, and we'll need 5 greenhouses there. And we'll need, let's see, 8 furnaces there. So we all in all have to upgrade our production there as well. So let's see. I've had, oh, now it's hard to discern. So these are 8 greenhouses in total. I'm piping on up this there. And this thing is requiring 3 wood per sec. One of our greenhouses here is producing 0.66, so I might think that, yeah. How much wood do these guys need? And 1.87. Oh, I like to separate thingies there. So I think we'll need 2 more greenhouses on that. I'm pretty sure that I'm right about that. So we also need to be careful about whipping out another connector there. So we'll have water here. This water carrier here is now dry as well, so I need to change that. Good to say though, this is a very unfortunate place to be as a water connection. Dear water connection, why don't you move a tile? It'll all be easier if you'd be working on it. Okay, but I think we did this. So we're not using these small thingies anymore. We are picking up sand there, and out. Watching. real neat part about that is I don't think I'll be needing to wire that any else because we have 2, 4, yeah, that's sufficient. Okay. And now we'll be needing 4 fuel furnaces for coke. We'll be just upgrading and using this one here. So, problem resolved there as well. Plus the coal, we got it there while we're at it. And here is now coke and coal on one belt. Alright, so we got that here and there. So now the real nightmare begins. We'll have to restructurize that. So cannot insert electric coal. Yeah, I figured. So we're going to pick on up what we need here. We can't get rid of. So, whatever. Just going to let the robots do the dirty work here. That's what you got nanobots for, man. So that's been the input line for the enriched ore. We'll be, let's see. As soon as this thing here is finally empty, I'll be using that again as a distribution hub. But right now, it's not possible. Okay then. Really hope that this will fit in. But for the time being, let's just sever that connection because I really want to make sure that that sector here, oops, it's going to be emptied first. Okay, so we can now see this like that. Alright, so I want to get rid of this one. And, yeah, process fuel. It's always the hardest part to find some place for all the spare parts in. Enriched iron that we're also going to be able to put away there. Okay, but I really want to get rid of most of the old infrastructure there. So we can set it up completely new. So, there goes. This is the raw material for that one. And we're going to need another line for refining. The thing here is we cannot wire up another red belt there. That won't work. So we'll need a different one. Also, we'll need a new belt for iron ore here. So we're going to make that work out. So belt number 2. That's going to be the one for the steel production. And we're going to just copy it entirely and just filter out the parts which I don't want to use there. So it's there. Probably have to handcraft a couple of pipes extra. So there we go. And all we need is another flare stack. Getting rid of the wastewater for us. And that's unnecessary. That's not what we need in there. And this one over here. So this is going to be what we need for steel. Alright. I could just pipe it on over there. Let's do this for now. I mean, reorganizing all that stuff is always... So now we have some iron ore there. And let's check it out. So we are going to need 24 of these guys. Yeah, we're just going to do this. We're just going to copy that bad boy here. So we're setting up the entire system like this. Yeah. Let's do this. Enriched ore rolls in here. Maybe we won't be needing that entire thing anymore. Let's get rid of it for now. Get rid of it for one little reason alone, for the sake of clarity. What I don't need, I get rid of. Right. So, and we're going to let the processed fuel not just go on in here. And that's going to be okay for the entire smelting thing. Now, I also need new electric poles. Let's fetch a few. But we're getting somewhere slowly. So all in all, while talking about the overwhelmingness of Factorio, Factorio is one of the least popular games in my portfolio as well. So I always feel like my audience feels overwhelmed by this game too, but it's just like, you know, it's one of my favorite games, so the community has to endure. Okay, now then. We got all these. Just going to put that in. Sure, if I don't want to roll the brokerage, this, because we are going to go over here and. So we're going to go it's 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So Oh. Oh. No. Well, whatever. I'll just take the last ones. I don't care. So now I'll only have to wire that up for copper, and then we're pretty much done with that topic. Of course, enriched rare metals are also still a thing that we have to take care of. But oh, I'm so happy that we're now. Oopsie. Configured the wrong ones, I think. But I'm just so happy that we now have steel production and double the steel production we had before, you know. It's now double the amount. So, really not happy. The only thing that's bothering me here is that this stupid little warehouse is not rolling. Okay, so now we'll need the same thing for copper. Let's see, where do we have our copper ore? Our copper ore is being transported on in here. Okay. So, input is there, and we're also outputting... Oh, Christ. Now that's the thing. For I remember. All my sins are. So first things first, we're going to make this like that again, and we are going to require a long pathing around there. Because all the copper ore which has been formerly stored here has to be stored somewhere else now. Let's see. I'm going to roll on here, but maybe no, that's not that. Too much in the way of where. No. I want to let that stuff flow on, like over here, so it'll avoid the workspace. All about logistics now. Okay, so we have iron happening here, and let's just slap on copper the opposite end, so we have it roll it on here. And now, I mean, the process is the same. We'll have 5 chemical plants. Enriching copper for us, and we'll have the outward piping. Goes. And that as well. Then we'll have copy the rest. I ran out of two round thingies, and another thing that has to be switched on in between here is another warehouse, because I want to be able to organize these things at least a little bit. Alright. Void the void, welcome, hi there. Make people want you to try it out. Yeah, well, the thing here is, I really do my best to make Factorio as little or less overwhelming as possible, because, you know, I really made the experience that a lot of people are stressing themselves out with this game mostly because of perfectionism. Because they really want to make everything as perfect as possible. And once you go down that way, oh, it's so odd. The game is a lot easier when you go for like only 80% efficiency and 100% efficiency only in very, very few selected areas where it's actually really important and useful, and be a little bit less accurate in the areas where the game is actually quite forgiving if you are. But I've seen people doing lots of content with extremely optimized factories and the like, and while I think for an experienced player, the more experienced the better, this might be actually quite entertaining. But the newer you are to the game, the more overwhelming it grows, the more refining and the more efficiency there is in it. You know, the entire ore refining process that I'm running onto today here is also quite a complicated thing, but that's honestly not as complicated as other things that this game can be. So cheer up, it's only getting more complicated from. Alright, so we'll do this, well, how the hell are we going to do this time? It's not as easy as the last one, because our pathways for the copper are just outright horrible. So we're going to make that right away twice, as I can, because I know I need it twice, once for the lab, once for the wall, so we'll have to fix that up. Okay. Then new flare stacks into this system. And we're good to go. Alright. I ran out of chemical plants. Surprise, always something new. And we're going to drop near, drop near, drop near, drop near, and drop near. Okay. So that's going to be 30 enriched iron per second once we have successfully wired it up. Let's work on that. So let's roll power down here. That's what you got the big poles for, you know. Oh yeah, and of course, we'll have to plug in sulfuric acid and water at some point here too, but so we're actually going to let that run the opposite way. We're just going to go all the way back up there, because, you know, I'm not proud of it, but that's right now actually the best way for us to take it. Alright. Ran out of belt again. Let's pick up a couple of those. Ah, chemical factories. It's just wondering what the hell this is. I forgot to. Okay. So. And once I have fixed up that stuff with copper, I think I'll be happy with the outcome of today's episode. I mean, modernizing these things was something that I skipped in my last run, and it brutally bit me in the back. I really, really regretted that. Because, all in all, I really slowed down everything by trying to be a little bit faster by skipping on stuff. So, that's why I'm trying to be smarter this time. Okay, so we'll also have to restructure the copper production there too. Just like the last time. We still have the same old issue. So there we go. And I forgot to put the chemical plants, of course. So we're going to make it a little bit different here, though. A little bit easier to handle than on the iron side. On the iron side, we were a little bit cornered up, you know. Here, I can just do storage for the enriched ore, and we'll be able to just replace that easily. Alright, so let's see. I'll be needing to remove all of this here. Yeah, just like that area. I bet I'll be out of room in time. Okay. Well, we'll be able to get rid of the process fuel like that. Oh, and I ran actually out of ammo. That's one thing I didn't expect. Okay then. So, yeah. So first off, we can get rid of a bit of copper ore there. And we'll have to stop the there as well, because, you know, if I keep putting in there to the warehouse, we'll never deplete our stockpiles. Okay, so let's see. Some processed fuel. Let's get rid of that here. And some iron plate. We can get rid of it there too. And some coal, if I am not mistaken. You guys are not running on coal. You should be running on coal, though. So. Let's clean up this place. And we have this on the cursor. The real cool part here is that we can again just copy that setup here and let's see. I don't want to be here. We can make two of these columns actually. Eh? Yeah. So, oh yeah, I need. Copper plate. It's always the same. When you set up new facilities, you end up with lots of the material for that. So those, get rid of that copper plate, and got up blue castings there. Okay, so luckily, there's no recipe for enriched stone. Are you excited for any upcoming games? Well, at the moment, not so much, but that's mostly because it's now only like 9 days or so until I go for 2 weeks into vacation, so I kind of like tuned off out of that. And that regard. So I'll be watching the news and as soon as I am back, you know, just so you guys know. The last thing I was pretty excited about was Clanfolk, and another thing crosses my mind, but I don't really know whenever that will be released, and that's Paralives, which is basically the big upcoming competitor for The Sims, because Paralives just seems to be bigger and better in every little aspect, than The Sims, while being the same game-ish. It's really hard to answer that question. For the given reasons, you know. Okay, so we really have set up everything here. Then guys are picking up their fuel. And now we have to change the recipe, of course, because we're not going to produce iron plates, we're going to produce copper plates, of course. But we were able to utilize the same setup, which is really awesome. So we're going to use this. So copper shortage is going to be over in no time. Alright, so, oh god, this is going to be a nightmare. Oh, I need to pick up all the belt on over to the lab. Do you know how much belt that is? What's so horrible about that? It's full of copper. Oh god, this is going to be a pretty nasty job. Let's research some jetpack gear to alleviate the pain. Chemical factories. So we're also pretty much reaching the end of this session here. I think I'll be staying that extremely much longer. Oh, we ran out of steel for these bad boys. But I gotta say, I got done with the majority of things that I wanted to get done here, so I'm totally happy with our situation here. The only thing that I really still have to take care of is make sure that this thingy here is empty soon and rewire these facilities there. But, I mean, we have now a centralized ore refining process running, which is amazing. It's really a big thing for us. So, we'll have to wire up water and acid as well. So, this is the water. No fluid, no refine. The water, and let's pick up the other stuff there too. Jetpack gear, adaptive armor. Just science these things down. Really want that on the same page. It's looking always nice and organized if you do that. And there you go. Cool. And now it begins. So that's the enriched ore we need for both facilities, for the lab and the regular business. So that stuff's now going to roll on over into the regular business, and now we'll have to wire up the enriched ore for the other business, so to say. So I think the easiest way to handle all this, folks, I have an idea. So we are going to hijack all this. And first off, going to be a reverse quest. Because that's going to be way less mind-numbing than carrying this stuff all back home. Because, you know, I'd be needing to carry all that ore. That ain't fun, I tells you. This is really a lot of ore. And now the stuff is just going to get carried back over there. Things you do to modernize your factory. Totally whack. We're almost there, though. Now we'll just set up a new thing there. A new facility down here. Which is going to be a lot easier because I don't have to carry the ore back. The ore is carrying itself back. Yeah, I like what I did there. Go away. Just carry it back. So this part of the lab has no power. Cool. Okay. So this part here is of course also massively underpowered. Much more about that. So, luckily, we'll just have to copy pasta this little thing here. And to go. How about that? We'll just drop it down here. Armor has been finished heat shielding. Oh yeah. So definitely next session is going to be more about this full tech. So let's just let the nanobots do their thing. Let's see how I'll be distributing the enriched ore over to the lab. Not entirely sure that I wanted to do the same way. Because the way before was not necessarily simply there. Why aren't we producing any dynamite anymore? What's wrong here, my darlings? This place somehow ran out of water. So, let's see. Yeah, sometimes you just have to fix up these little things. If you don't, you have problems. So, where were we? I mean, basically, I could just slap down a tremendously long belt there again, just to transport the ore to the lab. I don't know. Maybe I'll find a smart solution for that. I really hope so, because I'm a tad bit unhappy with that. I'm merely very happy that I happened to do some real nutty things to get rid of the problem there. So, worker robots. We're going to switch on over to robots anytime soon or later anyway, so. Okay, so that stuff's sitting on over there, and we'd be needing to move it on there, so we'll just do that. A way too long belt connection. So the block that I'll need to connect is over there. Just once. Okay. This is still a very, very long piece of belt, but it's still, at the same time, way more tidy than my old solution there. And more effective. Still not too happy about it, though. The good news about it, it is upgradable to a much, much higher level of efficiency than we are rolling right now. Because I could just use this and do 30 plates out of it. Because we have the connection that can transport 30 units of ore. So we can use that. So go. Oops. There we go. So everybody's working out now, and we still have power issues at parts of the factory. Cool. So looks like this was a thing from the past. Alrighty, so I'd say this is a good spot to drop the ball for today. We have made a really, really nice piece of progress there. I have now set up the entire factory on refined ore. I have a backbone of sulfuric acid that I can use for pretty much everything that I want to use in the factory. And I have now, most importantly, the backbone to work with whatever amounts of ore refining. We can do a lot more iron refining up here. We can do a lot more copper refining down here. Enriched metal refining will happen in between too. I'm really happy. So thanks everybody for watching this. I can only say drop me a comment down below. I'd be super grateful for that. Leave a thumbs up on that video if you enjoyed it. And of course consider subscribing if you like that kind of content. I'm doing this quite daily. And as a last shout out again, Check out the description box down there. There are links for direct support. Every donation matters, and I'm really, really grateful that you took the time to check it out. So, have a good day, and see you soon. Bye, Pixel Manga.